Sebastian Janikowski with just 8 touchbacks will tee it off. The former Lou Groza winner. And deep back is the guy that won the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week, rookie Bernard Scott. He had that terrific return last week against Pittsburgh, and here we go. And Scott gets a fushy block and takes it by the 20 and is brought down by the reserve tight end Stewart. He returns at 15 yards. Somewhat of a surprise, though. Cincinnati has never won here in Oakland.
0-9.
Yeah, and that's something.
They plan to change that today.
In the backfield is Leonard with Jeremy Johnson. And this is a 1st and 10. And the initial hit was made up front, and Greg Ellis allows just a gain of a yard up to the 22-yard line. 2nd down and 9. And Scott is in. There are 2 tight ends. And this is Scott with the block by Daniel Coates, who is upended by Huff, who's playing injured. That's a gain of 5. They're going to spot him at the 28-yard line.
He knows they're a talented football team, so he wants to come out and get out to a fast start, kill any confidence the Raiders might gain early in this game.
4th receiver Purify at the top of your screen, 1 of 4. Good time for Palmer. We got the block from Cook. He dives for the 1st down. Looks like he's got it. Ellis tapped him as he went down. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4. They get a 1st down.
What a heady play by Carson Palmer. Not known for his mobility, but he smartly pulls this ball down. Don't want to force it into coverage. Don't want to put it in harm's way. So he pulls it down, and then he understands that he can hit the 1st down marker by simply keeping the ball. And he said, hey, I can't turn it over. I can't give their defense any opportunities by making bad decisions.
He's running more, Solomon, than I ever recall.
Well, and he's making good decisions with the football.
Scott in the backfield, 1st down and 10, 1st series of the game. Good block by Coates. They're going to blow that dead. Maybe a false start on the part of the Cincinnati Bengals.
False start. Offense. Brady 5. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Ocho Cinco is called for the penalty right there as you take a look at Don Carey in his 1st year as a referee. His brother is Mike Carey, a long-time NFL referee. Now it's 1st and 15 for Marvin Lewis in his 7th season as the coach of the Bengals.
And doing a wonderful job. Really has this team playing well. It's going to be interesting. The matchups on the outside. The cornerbacks for this Raiders defense are very good. They're big, they're fast, and very physical.
5 in the secondary, 1st and 15. Oh, right up the middle. Here comes Richard Seymour. There's a ball going down, and flags are thrown. Maybe a false start once again for Cincinnati. And good news for Bengals fans. Pittsburgh has just lost in overtime in Kansas City.
Wow.
False start. Offense. Number 62. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
And that is on Livings, the left guard.
Livings is starting at that left guard position. Evans Matthews is out, inactive for today's game. And so, you know, Marvin Lewis has said the offensive line was the most improved area of his football team. They're going to have to play well today in order to come out to Oakland and win this ball game.
Route is the 5th defensive back, 1st and 20. This is Scott. Brought down by Kirk Morrison. Leads him in tackles for a 4th consecutive year. Loss of 2 back to the 20-yard line.
Boy, they're teeing off right now. And you can see without Cedric Benson, without their power runner, of course, Scott is in. Benson out with that hip flexor injury. If they can't run the football, the offense could struggle today. And we know that this defensive front for the Oakland Raiders, there have been times when they can simply get after you and wreck your ability to run the football.
Well, like you said before, Carson Palmer said this is a sleeping giant here in Oakland.
You just saw why on that play.
Scott remains 2nd down and 22. Good time. Vashi with the block. Scott. And there was a block by Cook. Tyvon Branch brings down Scott. Welcoming our new audience, we just had a 23-yard catch and run screen pass to the rookie Bernard Scott. And it takes him on the 1st series of the game out to the 44-yard line.
Phenomenal play by Carson Palmer. Cincinnati Bengals ranked 1st in the National Football League at converting 3rd and 10 or longer. They convert 34%. You just saw in that play, 3rd and very long, able to convert it into a 1st down.
From the 44 with 4 back in the secondary, and the fake to Scott, 1st and 10. is incomplete. They go into Jeremy Johnson. Second consecutive loss for the Steelers.
Boy, and that's something the fans in Cincinnati, Bengals fans, would be happy to hear. The Bengals, their next 3 weeks are games they should be able to win.
Second down and 10. This is Scott Asmawar. Comes through, makes the stop. It's a loss of 5, and Solomon, they throw him back to the 38-yard line.
Well, that was a really good play by Asmawar. We said this Raiders defense can get after you.
And welcoming another new audience out here to the West Coast. 3rd and 15, game's first series. Cincinnati started back at their 21. The big play has been a 23-yard catch and run by the rookie running back Scott. 3rd and 15 right now. Not playing today because of an injury is Cedric Benson. 5 in the Raiders secondary at the 39. Carson Palmer, 3rd and 15. Another flag. We've seen a lot of them on this drive.
And most of them have gone against the Bengals.
They have, you're right.
Delay game. Offense. Number 9. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Well, they wanted to come out sharp and focused, and they have not come out sharp and focused.
No, and it's really the offensive line, and Carson has to get the ball snapped in that situation. You've got to be aware of the 25-second clock. Get the ball snapped and give your team a chance. Now they're facing 3rd and very long. We said they were first in the National Football League at converting 3rd and 10 or longer. But boy, this is like playing the role of a magician.
Seymour is out. Trevor Scott is on that defensive line. 5 in the secondary. 3rd and 20. Good block by Whitworth. That's caught. Ocho Cinco. And brought down by Tyvon Branch. Was it a fumble, though? And let's see if they mark it down. The gain right now to the 36, 29 yards. If it stands, and it does, that's a first down reception by Chad Ocho Cinco.
That was 3rd and 20, Kevin, and they converted. It's simply because they don't get pressure. He beats the jam at the line of scrimmage. Now he's going to bend it over the middle. A laser lock pass from Carson Palmer right in the heart of Chad Ocho Cinco. Ball did come out after he hit the ground.
First down and 10 with a couple of tight ends. Jeremy Johnson in the backfield and applies a block for Scott. No place to go right there. Sam Williams makes the stop. It is a loss of a yard on the play. They're going to miss Cedric Benson. You know that, this Cincinnati offense.
And this Oakland Raiders defense, they come in ranked 29th against the run in the National Football League. Remember, they had a stellar game week 6 against the Philadelphia Eagles where they had 6 sacks in that game. They won it 13-9. Then the very next week, the Jets come out here and they rush for over 300 yards against this very same Oakland Raiders defense.
Scott in the backfield, second down and 11. 4 in the secondary. Good block by Scott. And outside it goes Lavernius Coles, his first catch, and brought down by Branch. Down at about the 17-yard line. That's a 21-yard reception. And before we had a catch and run of 23 by Scott.
This defense, they've been feast or famine. There's times when they play spectacular, other times not so good.
First down and 10. This is Leonard on 1st and 10. No gain on the play, and coming through at the stop was Mike Mitchell, who's a rookie out of Ohio. Stays at the 16.
As you can see, they give up some big plays on 3rd down, but watch this one. They're right in the hole to make the tackle against Brian Leonard.
There's a look at Mitchell. Second-round pick out of Ohio. Went to Highlands High School in Cincinnati. 2nd and 10. And they've got Scott in the backfield. Fake to Scott. Blocked by Livings. Chased by Richardson. Palmer throws to Scott. He's at the 12 and knocked down there. Mitchell was among the group. And it's a gain of 6 on the play.
12th play of the drive, and Carson Palmer, I think, is really in good command. They've come out and they've run at the lion's share of the time. 7 run plays, 5 pass plays. Carson Palmer gets to dial it up here. The one thing they do on offense, I think, is really good this season is they give the defense a lot of different looks. They'll come out with an unbalanced line. They'll come out with a 3 wide receiver set. It's what you have here, and so they're really able to keep the defense off balance.
3rd down, long 4, 5 in the secondary. You see the receivers at the disposal of Palmer. Finds one of them. It's Ocho Cinco at the 1. Drilled by Huff. He was hit by the linebacker Howard. He picks up 10 earlier on this drive. He had a catch of 29 yards.
Yeah, I've been critical of Chad Ocho Cinco in the past, but this is where he has improved. His ability to catch the ball over the middle hold on to it and take a lick. I think that's where he really has improved, and I think he has proven to his football team that he's a much tougher and more physical player this year than he ever has been in the past.
More focused, it appears, doesn't it? Huh?
Absolutely, and less distracting and willing to pay the price, and I think that earns the respect of your teammates.
He's had 2 third-down catches for first. Leonard in the backfield with Jeremy Johnson. First and goal. Look at the time for Carson Palmer. They're chasing him. And he was hit by Ellis. He got in for the touchdown. He got just right over the pylon. A rushing touchdown for Carson Palmer, his second of the season.
We talked about Carson Palmer being a heady player, playing so much better. When I said he's playing better than he ever has, even though the numbers don't reflect it, this is just a smart decision. Don't force the throw. But watch number 40, Brian Leonard. The peel back block right there is what allowed Carson Palmer to hit the pylon. Watch the peel back block because he saves Carson from getting blown up by Greg Ellis, allows him to hit the pylon for a touchdown.
There were some terrific plays. Pass receptions of Scott and 23 yards. Ocho Cinco had 2 catches for 29 and 10. And Lavernius Coles had a 21-yard reception from Carson Palmer. There were some penalties, but there were some nice plays, and they shake the cobwebs on the long flight from Ohio out here to California. And they come up with a touchdown in their first series. That is the kick by Shane Graham, and that makes it a 7-0 lead for Palmer. They come in at 7-2, and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Is that not how you want to start it out?
Boy.
You come out for the West Coast trip. You've never won in the history of your franchise out in Oakland, where you're 0-9. You go on a 70-plus yard drive to get off to a good start.
And welcoming our final audience from out east, we can tell you that a 1-yard touchdown run moments ago by Carson Palmer of the Bengals on the game-opening drive has given Marvin Lewis and his first-place Cincinnati Bengals a 7-0 lead over the Oakland Raiders.
To a man, when you talk to the Cincinnati Bengals, they'll tell you that last week's win in Pittsburgh was a milestone of sorts for this football team to sweep the Steelers, the defending Super Bowl champions. But what did Marvin Lewis say? We'll find out if we can pay it off in this game today against the Raiders. They feel like they have to win this game to make last week's win over Pittsburgh a meaningful one.
But they felt that it did validate them. They've swept them for the first time in 11 years. They beat Baltimore and Pittsburgh in back-to-back weekends. Huge divisional wins, and you talked about before in the division right now, they're 5-0.
Absolutely. Been able to sweep both Baltimore and Pittsburgh in the same season. First time it's ever happened for the Cincinnati Bengals. But they feel like coming out here this week and getting a win against the 2-7 Raiders would validate the work they've put in so far this season.
So here's the ensuing kickoff. Jonathan Holland will get this back at the 9-yard line. He's a second-year player. And he gets a block from Shaughnessy, and he is brought down by Abdul Hodge around the ankles at about the 20-yard line on a 13-yard return.
When you can coach men to become better than they would be on their own, that is the true meaning of leadership. Marvin Lewis has provided it for the Bengals.
Bruce Gronkowski will hand off to Michael Bush on 1st and 10. And around his ankles, he's got a linebacker. That was Brandon Johnson on a gain of 5. He's up to the 27-yard line.
A season of first. 5 straight road victories, the longest streak in team history. 5-0 in the AFC North. And remember, they've been able to sweep both Pittsburgh and Baltimore for the first time in team history in the single season. I think they're accomplishing some great things in 2009. I think it starts with that guy right there, their head coach, Marvin Lewis.
You can see they're in the shotgun. They got McFadden, the running back, at the top of your screen. 2nd down and 5. This is the leading receiver, the tight end, Zach Miller. He was hit by Jonathan Joseph and waylaid by Crocker. He's got the first down. He's up to the 34-yard line. Now McFadden is in the backfield. It's 1st down and 10 from the 35. First possession for the Raiders. Bruce Gronkowski out of Toledo. Alaluga makes the stop outside on McFadden. Loss of 2. They're going to push him back to the 32-yard line. First possession for the Raiders. 33-yard line. McFadden in the backfield. We will see Justin Vargas as well. It's the tight end Miller in motion, and somebody moved. Was it Cooper Carlisle or was it Ted Johnson of the Bengals on the defensive line?
Encroachment. Defense. Number 99. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
He's a guy who can cover and is making a lot of plays in that secondary.
2nd down and 7. This is Darren McFadden. And Mamaluga makes the stop after a gain of 2. He's up to the 40-yard line. Jim Schwartz, the former defensive coordinator, now the head coach for the Detroit Lions. He was down in Tennessee with Jeff Fisher.
A young team that's getting better in Detroit.
Bush is into the backfield, 3rd down and 5. Nickel secondary for Cincinnati. Michael Johnson putting pressure on that pocket. Incomplete, going downfield for Murphy. And the coverage down there by both Ndukwe and Crocker. They got to punt the ball.
It's a cover 2 man, 2 deep, man under. Chinedum Ndukwe matched up against Lewis Murphy, and you see the coverage. That's what forces the high throw, because it was actually Trent Morgan, the nickel corner, who was in tight coverage, forcing the high throw from Bruce Gradkowski.
The best punter in the business right here is Shane Leckler, and deep back is Quan Cosby inside the 15 for Cincinnati. Leading punter in the NFL, great hang time every time. Here is Cosby, 14-yard line, hang time of 4.7. They want to get 4.5. He breaks a tackle with Sam Williams. That's Paul Hackett, who is with Gradkowski down in Tampa when John Gruden was the head coach, and they're talking things over on the sideline. Second possession now for Cincinnati from their 32. They've got it 1st down and 10. Scott is in the backfield. Palmer's already got a rushing touchdown today for the Bengals. Pretty good looking first drive, too.
Yeah, I think showing great maturity on the road coming off a big win.
And this is Scott looking for a block, and he got it from Cook, and he pushes a pile to about the 37. You see Jay Richardson there on his back. Left tackle Whitworth now on the right side. 2nd down and 5. He's right next to Rollins. Here's the handoff, and it goes off to Scott. There's a block by Fashi. There's a block by Livings, and you can see the entourage out there led by Thomas Howard. It is no gain on the play. They're going to stay, Solomon, at the 37.
Yeah, right now, Cincinnati Bengals not having a lot of success running the football. Only 9 rushing yards so far in the game, and got to give the Oakland Raiders defense a little credit. But what did Marvin Lewis tell us? He said, we've learned playing in the AFC North, you've got to stay with the running game. They may have success stopping us early, but we're going to keep hammering away until we wear them down. And I think it's about the number of rushing opportunities that's key for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Battle of attrition then, right?
Absolutely. 30 carries will do it.
Absolutely is right. Hiram Eugene is in the backfield, a 5th defensive back. 3rd and 5. Good block by Livings. That's a nice catch by Andre Caldwell. 1st down, beat Branch. He picks up 17 on 3rd and 5. They're going to spot him at the 46 of the Raiders.
Caldwell is a player that's really beginning to come on, making plays. 2nd year from Florida, beating 33 over the middle. And look at this, beating Branch as he just breaks over the middle. Excellent throw from Palmer and a great catch by Caldwell.
Do they miss Hushmanzadeh from Cincinnati? I mean, has that been a big story this year?
I think in the beginning, I think it was a hurdle for him. But I think they're, with guys like Caldwell coming into his zone, and I think Lavernius Coles are starting to fill the void.
It's 1st and 10, the fake to Leonard. This is Ocho Cinco, hit by Huff, a former #1 pick out of Texas. And Chad is off to a great start. A 15-yard catch right there, his 3rd of the day, on the heels of a 29-yard catch and a 10-yard catch.
We call this a deep 6 route, and then you can see Nnamdi Asomugha opens the gate. Now, and the only way you can make that completion, and I think it was good coverage initially, but the protection and the time provided for the quarterback Carson Palmer allows that pass play to develop.
So a rapidly moving first quarter here in the Bay Area. We're going to start the second quarter. Look at the offense so far in the time of possession with these two teams through one quarter.
Cincinnati Bengals were dominant in that first quarter, rolling off 18 plays, 130 yards. And look at the time of possession. 12 of the 15 minutes they've had the ball on offense.
They got the full house backfield, 31-yard line. Scott in the backfield, blocked by Whitworth. And the tackle made by Jay Richardson out of Ohio State. That's a gain of 1 by Bernard Scott. Down to the 30-yard line. One thing that was a concern to Cincinnati was not playing down to the level of the Raiders.
Oh, that's exactly. They don't want to play down to the competition. They felt like that happened in a loss to Houston earlier in the season, where they had been on a roll and then allowed some of that steam and hot air to get out of the balloon.
2nd and 9 into the nickel. This is a pass by Carson Palmer, complete to the 22-yard line. The tackle made by Sam Williams on J.P. Fashi, a former Raider. It's a gain of 8. And they'll be shy of a 1st down.
Yeah, this is where the Bengals have been very good. Carson Palmer have already converted 4 of their 3rd down opportunities so far. 4 for 4. And so they've been 100% at turning these 3rd downs into a new set of downs, and that's what allowed them to score on that first drive. Let's see what they do here. 3rd and very short, 3rd and 1. Haven't been able to run it very well, getting it done through the air.
Rout is the 5th defensive back for the Raiders. Already 129 yards through the air for Carson Palmer, who does not have a 300-yard passing game this season. Right on the money. Lavernius Coles, they blow that dead. Another penalty.
Wow.
False start. Offense. Number 85. 5-yard penalty. It remains third down.
Now, how do you explain this? 4 pre-snap penalties on the Cincinnati Bengals
you
already.
can see Carson's not happy with it. There's Chad. See right there in the slot, working against Nnamdi Asomugha. He's so fast and so quick and in a hurry to try to beat Nnamdi off the jam and try to beat him at the line of scrimmage. That time he jumped prior to the snap of the ball. Now he put the Bengals in a 3rd and 6 situation when they were facing a 3rd and 1. It looked like they were going to convert it.
We're going to 4 defensive backs and 4 linebackers. 3rd and 6. He's hit. Knocked down by Branch. Picked up on the play by Morrison. It's still loose. And it looks like Greg Ellis, the former Cowboy, has gathered in the ball. He has at the 33-yard line. What a great blitz and a great defensive call. And Tyvon Branch came from the side and knocked the ball free.
And I think Carson Palmer has to know if the blitzer is accounted for or not. They were sliding the line to the right, and so Branch was going to come free off his left side. And see, he even sees him. He was looking to that side. Should have known that he was uncounted for. And so you see he gets hit. Ball comes out. They have a chance to get it right there by Lavernius Coles. He can't get it, so Greg Ellis comes up with it. I think if you're Lavernius Coles, you've got to come up with that ball. But how about Branch coming free off the corner, getting the hit, the strip, and fumble from Carson Palmer.
That's the takeaway story for Oakland. The Bengals were +3 coming into today. Oakland -8 from the 34. 1st and 10. Gradkowski had Bush in the backfield. Lawton, the fullback, is brought down the play by Ndukwe out of Notre Dame after a gain of 1 to the 33.
Now this is where the Bengals have improved greatly on their football team, I think, is on the defense. Their ability to pitch a 3 and out and maybe stop the Raiders here as you get a look at Tom Cable. I thought that was a really good play by Chinedum Ndukwe, closing in to make the tackle, not allowing any yards after the catch. This defense is improved at every level, defensive line and in the secondary.
Bush in the backfield, 2nd down and 9. Fumble. And I think Gradkowski jumped back on the ball. And, oh, wait a minute. The Bengals say they've got it. How about that? And that has been typical of the Oakland Raiders. They can never enjoy any prosperity. Picked up by Dhani Jones.
Wow.
And we're back in Oakland. A Carson Palmer touchdown run. 7-zip. Bengals on top. Well, what's caught your eye so far in this one?
Well, the Cincinnati Bengals clearly have come out understanding how important this game is. Despite the record for the Oakland Raiders, 2-7, they know they have to play at their best, but they've been less than perfect. 5 penalties to start this game for the Cincinnati Bengals. A fumble by Carson Palmer on the sack and fumble. They've got to play better, and they really got to try to put the Raiders away very early in the game.
1st and 10. Bobby Williams leading the way for Bernard Scott, brought down by Morrison outside, and that was a gain of 7 on the play, and he'll be spotted, Solomon, at the 39-yard line.
We talked about the defense bailing this team out on the fumble by Bruce Gradkowski. The longer you allow, I think, the Raiders, who we know is a very talented team, the longer you allow them to linger in this game and hang in and keep it close, they have the ability to kick it into overdrive and take this game away from the Cincinnati Bengals. And that's why Marvin Lewis said we cannot play down to the level of our competition.
Seymour has hurt his back on the defensive line. He may return today. 2nd down and 3. Scott again. There's a block by Rowland. A tackle made by Thomas Howard along with Tyvon Branch on a gain of 5. And he's got the 1st down. We'll spot him, Solomon, at about the 44-yard line for this rookie out of Abilene Christian.
How about the Oakland Raiders? They do know how to get penetration at the line of scrimmage. Watch 61, Gerard Warren. See how he gets into the backfield right away, nearly wrecked that run play, but the quickness of Bernard Scott, his ability to change directions and bounce it to the outside, kept Warren from really just destroying that play in the backfield. Larry Johnson, I expect at some point we're probably going to see him in this ball game.
He did practice this week, but he's only been with the team for 5 days. 1st and 10, fake to Scott. And this is Andre Caldwell. He's got a Jeremy Johnson lead. Brought down by Richardson, who's seeing some time with the injury to Seymour. 15-yard end around to Andre Caldwell, who runs it for his 2nd rush of the season. Mark him at the 41, 1st down.
And watch the hustle of number 98, Jay Richardson, because this one should go a long way. But look at the big 98's going to run down Caldwell and make the tackle. That play was well designed. Good call by Bob Bratkowski, offense coordinator for the Bengals.
That's Tommy Kelly, a defensive lineman down for the Oakland Raiders. We have an injury timeout. So now on the line, they've got Gerard Warren back in there. They've got a rookie, Desmond Bryant, out of Harvard. The the backfield, Brian Leonard. And that offset eye, now they're going the straightaway eye.
Palmer checking off, sensing the blitz.
Leonard, who came in a trade in May with St. Louis, deftly moved by the defense, brought down by Huff, picks up 11 yards, and he's to the 30 for a first down.
And watch the work and the movement created up front by this offensive line. And then he'll just cut it back. See, they wash everyone out to that left side, and then the cutback lane is there and available. We call this hitting it out the back door. The movement starts one way, but the offensive line just carried the entire defense one way, and Leonard read the cut and came out the back door for a positive gain.
4 in the secondary. Scott in the backfield. 1st and 10. Second possession. Make it 3rd possession for Cincinnati. It's Scott. Good block by Whitworth. Finally brought down by Jay Richardson. Former Buckeye. That's a 10-yard run by Bernard Scott. Well, voting for the 2010 Pro Bowl has begun. Send your favorite player to South Florida for the Pro Bowl game by voting online or with your mobile phone at NFL.com/Pro Bowl. You vote, they play. Kevin Harlan battling a cold with my good friend Solomon Wilcox here in Oakland, where it's cleared up and it's a nice day.
It's okay. I got you back, bud.
I know you do.
We're going to be okay. How about the kid from Abilene Christian, Bernard Scott? Does he have game or what?
He looks good. He looked great last week on the 96-yard touchdown return on a kickoff in Pittsburgh. Scott again. Lead blocks across the way by Rowan and by Bobby Williams, and down he goes with the tackle made by Johnson. 9-yard run by Bernard Scott. He does. He looks terrific. 11 carries and 34 yards.
He runs hard. He runs with a burst of speed, and watch him just speed it to the corner. So he can get outside and beat the edge defender. You see him getting outside of number 52, Kurt Morrison, who had contained on the play, but the speed of Bernard Scott, the rookie from Abilene Christian, I think is just too quick and too fast for this Raiders defense.
2nd down and a yard to go. Brian Leonard is back in the backfield. Coach in motion. Leonard pile drives his way. In fact, he hits the defense so hard a guy lost his hat. And they bring him down after a gain of 6 on the play, and that was the rookie Bryant who lost his hat.
Yeah, you got the 200-pound Bernard Scott going to the outside, the 230-pound Brian Leonard hammering the defense up the middle. So speed to the corner, power up the gut, and right now they have this Raiders defense off balance. Listen up. That's the sound of pants popping.
So they mark him at the 4, where it's 1st and goal. Full house backfield. Leonard, touchdown. Well, let's see. Hold on. The knee may have gone down. He is shy. Someone was going to raise. One of the officials began to raise his arms, and he quickly pulled him down. And so he is shy by just a half yard. Huff makes the stop on Leonard, who picks up a good 4.5 on the drive inside.
Oh, they're just going to bloody the Raiders' nose right now behind this offensive line. Get physical.
Palmer, and he has gone in for his 2nd rushing touchdown today on that 2nd and goal at the 1. His 2nd rushing touchdown today, Carson Palmer, who goes on in. And like we said, he's already got more rushing yards this season than he has had in any previous single season in his career.
And Kevin, we talked about it coming back. We said they needed to clean up and get rid of the penalties. No penalties on a 9-yard, 68-yard drive, making easy work. 5 minutes, 5 seconds. They go right down the field behind an offensive line. And they ran the ball 9 straight times. It was all about the run game. It's just amazing.
Whereas on the previous scoring drive, they had catches. Scott had 1 of 23. Ocho Cinco had 1 of 10 and 29. Coles had 1 for 21. There's the extra point by Graham. That is up and true. And it's 14-0 Cincinnati. I know there's a lot of talk about Manning and Breeze and Favre, but this guy right here has had a very nice start to his season. Had his 2nd touchdown run moments ago, and he's put his team up 14-0.
I think you got to be proud of the way Carson Palmer has played in the 2009 season. This is a team that made the transition away from a wide open, no huddle style of passing to say, hey, we're going to run the ball more. He embraced it, and the team is all the better for it. Now, I think he's not a selfish guy. It's not about him. It's about winning. And Carson Palmer is a very mature and talented quarterback.
Well, that went inside the pylon. That's a great kickoff by Shane Graham. Carson Palmer with a couple 1-yard touchdown runs midway through the 2nd. Bengals on top. And a kickoff moments ago out of the end zone by Shane Graham. 1st and 10. Farkas in the backfield for Gronkowski. Nice tackle made by Malaluga. That's a gain of 2.
But he's known for getting the ball out quick and being very accurate throwing the football.
Second down and 8. Good block by Anderson, the left tackle. No place to go, and brought down by Tech Johnson.
Yeah, the ball didn't come out quick there. In fact, he should have gotten rid of it. I think held on to it a beat too long and nearly sacked there. If you take a look at Jamarcus Russell, who really had struggled, completing only 47% of his passes. That's second worst in the National Football League. Only Derek Anderson of the Cleveland Browns had a lower completion percentage. 9 interceptions to go with it. And Tom Cable said, we just need someone to come in and run the offense and hit receivers when they get open.
Morgan Trent has become the 5th defensive back for Cincinnati. 3rd down and 4 from 26. It's on the money on the drop pass. We see that a lot from the Raiders. That was to the rookie who drops a bunch of them, Darius Hayward-Bay. Here come the boos. He dropped a couple last week in Kansas City that could have turned the game around, and they should boo him. The guy has had a horrible rookie season.
He has struggled. He has struggled, and many people have talked to him. And the things that the coach and everyone's saying, he just has to relax. I mean, he saw that ball hitting right in the right place, right in the hands. As Coach Tom Cable says, hey, they want you out of here, they want me out of here, but we're in it together, and you've got to start catching the ball. And they believe it's going to come. They like his work ethic. Now it's got to carry over into games.
Quan Cosby gets the Weckler punt at the 27-yard line. Flag is down, and he is brought down by Eka Juba on a return of 20 yards on a 47-yard punt, and the ball is at about the 47-yard line. A lot of flags early. A lot of them have gone against the Cincinnati Bengals.
During the kick, holding, number 53 of the return team, 10-yard penalty, timeout.
Bengals thought if they could win out here today that it would enhance last week's win in Pittsburgh.
Oh, absolutely. It's called paying it off. They know it was a big win. They want to pay it off today.
Larry Johnson is in. 1st and 10. Richardson's got Larry Johnson. That's how he ran in Kansas City. He struggled a lot. That is a loss of 3.
You could see 416 carries in 2006. The numbers have gone down from there. A little bit banged up, but part of the story is he didn't have the horses up front over the last few years. They have horses on this offensive line.
2nd and 13, and that's how he used to run back in 06 and 07 when he was over 1,700 yards in both seasons. That's a gain of 8. As run by Larry Johnson. He's up to the 21-yard line, and Branch, the safety, brings him down.
Al Saunders, the offense that he ran in Kansas City was just like this. You see them washing people out, one-track runner. Run downhill. That's what Larry Johnson does. It was a game in 2005, the season finale for the Bengals, where he had over 200 yards rushing against Cincinnati. And boy, did he catch Marvin Lewis's eye. That was quite an audition, which had him a job working in Cincinnati now.
Nickel secondary, 3rd and 5. Bad snap, hit him in the shins, and Palmer goes down and fetches the ball at about the 17-yard line, and he'll lose a little bit of yardage on about 3, and it's 3 and out for Cincinnati.
Well, their ability to just collapse the pocket here. And you could see that ball didn't get to Carson. And Kyle Cook's got to get on the same page with his quarterback. Snapped the ball way too early. Carson did not call for the ball to be snapped. And Cook is coming off shaking his head, understanding that he squandered an opportunity.
Shaking his head. He had a mild concussion last week against Pittsburgh. Here's Huber now, the rookie out of the University of Cincinnati. And he grew up in Cincinnati. Wow. Johnny Lee Higgins back to the 27. Hang time of 4.4. He's being chased across the way by Johnson. And he is knocked out of bounds. That Raider defense just forced the first 3 and out for Cincinnati's offense.
Oh, they're starting to get it going, but they're going to have a lot to deal with the running game for the Bengals. They're starting to get it going.
That's McFadden in motion. 1st down and 10 from the 29-yard line for Bruce Gronkowski. Mario Williams with the block, and there's a pass down. That's a nice looking catch. Was it held on to? It was. Chaz Schillens, who was hit by Donnie Jones, the linebacker. It was all the way down to the 46-yard line, a gain of 25 yards on the play.
He said nice looking catch, nice looking throw from Bruce Gronkowski. We told you he could get the ball out, and accuracy is his calling card. I thought he put that ball perfectly where Schillens could come down with it. Putting it on the back shoulder behind the defender where only his guy could get it. It's a very catchable ball. I thought the ball thrown to Hayward-Bay that was dropped earlier on 3rd down was catchable. And that's what Bruce gives it. Ball comes out quick and very accurate.
Dan Sims on the defensive line now for Cincinnati. 1st down and 10. Was the longest play of the day for the Raiders. 25 yards. That ball's batted down, and it's incomplete.
I like the rhythm and the tempo right now of the Oakland Raiders offense. You could see They've got a little rhythm. Frosty Rucker was able to bat that ball down, but you can see the ball's ready to come out very quickly from Bruce Gradkowski.
Second down and 10. McFadden remains in the backfield. Here's a move. Here's McFadden. Down by Pecco. Flag is down, and Duque was there too. Gain of 9 as it stands right now. Solomon down to about the 37-yard line. 36-yard line.
Boy, were they rolling coming off the ball. Looked like this one's going to come back against the Raiders.
Offside. Defense number 90. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
That's on Pat Sims. In talking to the Raiders this week, they were excited about the quarterback change. They just felt there might be more command, and you were talking about this before in the huddle with the new quarterback.
Well, they just felt like he could run the complete offense more so than Jamarcus Russell. They felt like they had a guy who knows where the receivers are going to be, knows where to go with the football. That gives them at least a fighting chance. And what did Tom Cable tell us? He felt like the Cincinnati Bengals defense was what he called it, the simplest defense we have seen all season. He said, we can make some plays against them, and we do expect to score some points.
The other thing about Gradkowski, and Cable told us this on Friday, it is not just a one-game fix. I mean, they're going to stick with this guy for a while as he calls a timeout right now. So the Raiders began back at the 29. The big play, a 25-yard pass to Schillens. It's third down and 1 from the 36. Vargas in the backfield, couple tight ends, and the quarterback Gradkowski, gritty player that he is, takes it himself down to the 35, picks up the first down and a gain of 2.
Or 2 players. Bruce Gradkowski has given this team a lift. At least they felt like he could be the guy that could make some plays for him. And then Chaz Schillens, who you've already seen make a big play in this game. He was out the first 8 weeks, did play last week just sparingly, but had a foot injury. But having him back in the lineup along with Gradkowski, they feel like they can make some plays. Those are the 2 players you need to watch for this Oakland Raiders offense.
First down and 10. Vargas remains. Good block by Cooper Carlisle. That's the fullback look. And he's brought down by Maualuga at the 29-yard line. A catch and run of 6 yards on the play. Also, Gradkowski's had a full week of reps with the first-team offense. That makes a difference, too. Raiders have 2 timeouts. We're at the 2-minute warning. They're moving the ball right now. Second down and 4. Vargas remains in the backfield. 4 in the secondary for Cincinnati. This is Gradkowski. Loves that fullback look. And it's knocked down by Maualuga. Gain of 7 on the catch and run. We'll spot him, Solomon, at the 22. Another first down.
So you take what the defense gives you, and then you get rid of the ball quickly and make sure you deliver a catchable ball. When you're so close to your receiver, you don't need to fire one in there. You just feather it in, allow him to make the catch. Bruce Gradkowski completed roughly 68% of his passes at Toledo. And there was a couple of years where he completed 70% of his passes. So we know he can hit the receivers when they get open, something he started off doing very well today.
The tackles in this series are Sims along with Pecco defensively. First down and 10. Vargas blocked by Henderson. Blocked by Hayward Wade. Vargas head over heels to the 10. And brought down across the way by Hall. That's a 12-yard gain. That's another first down. Put him at the 9.
If the Raiders are going to win, they're going to hammer away with the running game. See the kick-out block there? And they've already sealed this. And that's where you get the seal in the kick-out block. And then it allows you to get the speed of Vargas into the second level of the defense. The Raiders offense looking as good as we've seen it look at any point this year. I think it starts with the quarterback, the rhythm and timing of the passing game, and then their ability to hammer away and run the football.
Crocker had a big hit on that play, too. First and goal at the 10. Vargas at the side of Gradkowski. Gallery with a good block to the end zone. Knocked away. Beautiful play by Leon Hall. First round pick a couple years ago out of Michigan. It was last week when Pittsburgh was held out of the end zone by the Cincinnati defense in the red zone.
Now, Gradkowski can't fire it in there. That ball kind of hangs a little bit. It's intended for Louis Murphy, and that's what allows, look, Leon Hall to get back in underneath and get that ball down. So while Gradkowski is very great with accuracy, he doesn't have that laser arm to fire it in there before the defensive back can turn his head and find the football.
Fanene and Frosty Rucker are the 2 defensive ends here. Second down and goal at the 10. 9th play of the drive. It's Murphy, the rookie out of Florida, in motion. Vargas with a block. Touchdown. Zach Miller. He beats Jonathan Joseph. 10-yard touchdown strike by Gradkowski. the block hole.
You see how quickly the ball comes out of the hand of Gronkowski before the defense can get set. Because Zach Miller was able to find a nice seam in between the linebacker, Kahani Jones, and then Jonathan Joseph. Watch 57 and 22. See, he settles right in there between the two, and that's where he can find a soft spot. That ball comes out of the hand quickly of the quarterback for a touchdown. I think they found something in Gronkowski. The Bengals know about him. He's already beaten them once.
So Miller gets his second touchdown reception of the season. Luckler will hold on the Janikowski extra point, which makes it a touchdown game. He, of course, was drafted by Tampa Bay. His coach there was John Gruden. They started him as a rookie. He then was benched after that, and back of Sims and some other guys there. He was cast aside. He went to the Rams. He was cut before the season began. He was out of football for 13 weeks. Signed late in the season by Cleveland. Played a quarter. And in that quarter had a quarterback rating of 1. He was let go. He signed with this team in the offseason. He's had a great offseason of working against the start today on the ensuing kickoff by Janikowski. This is taken by Andre Caldwell. Wrapped up by Hiram Eugene. Reserve defensive back.
They had come into this game only 7 touchdowns in their first 9 games. You can see he hadn't thrown a touchdown pass since November of 2006.
Seymour is still out with that back injury. 5 in the secondary, including Stanford route. 1st and 10 for Palmer. Incomplete. Looked like his tight end got caught up with the safety. Branch was defending Foster, and down goes Palmer.
Yeah, he gets caught up in a pass rush, and they're starting to leak a little bit on that offensive line.
Uh-oh, we've got somebody down, and looks like Whitworth has hurt his right knee, and so that means Anthony Collins is going to come in and take his place. We just talked to Andrew Whitworth. It's an injury timeout, so Cincinnati is assessed. They've got now 2 remaining, and this has been kind of the heart of that offensive line.
He is a tough player, a guy they can ill afford to lose today.
49 seconds. Whitworth has walked off under his own accord. Had an ankle injury at the end of last season, missed 6 games.
Take a look at him there. Carson Palmer fell on the back of his right leg. And boy, he's fortunate. In those situations where you think it's worse than what it is, and then the pain goes away. And boy, are you happy at that moment.
Anthony Collins takes his place, 2nd down and 10, and this is Leonard, who is stacked up and taken down. A entourage led by Tommy Kelly will make him gain just a yard to the 25-yard line. Timeout will be taken. It's taken by the Oakland Raiders. They've got 1 remaining. So the Raiders just took that timeout. They're going to have the nickel back there, and Stanford Brown will be the 5th defensive back. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Anthony Collins is still out there as the left tackle. No word yet on Andrew Whitworth. And you can see as they break huddle all the receivers they send out. And they've got Brian Leonard in the backfield, 3rd and 9. Leonard. Trevor Scott had him. And then finished off on the play by Tyvon Branch. It's a loss of 2. He's back to the 23-yard line. 2nd consecutive 3-and-out for the Cincinnati Bengals. So you talked about the Raider defense moments ago. They've kind of picked up a little bit of a stride in their play.
I think their confidence is beginning to swell. They pitched a 3-and-out. The Bengals minus 1 yard on that last possession.
Hubert a punt. Johnny Liggins is back, and the catch at the 32-yard line. And he sidesteps a couple of defenders, quickly gets out of bounds, and the tackle was made by Brandon Johnson. He shoved him out of bounds.
Bruce Gronkowski got it going in the 2nd quarter to get his offense and his team back in the game.
Morgan Trent is the 5th defensive back. 1st and 10 for Gronkowski. Throws that away wisely because the rush was coming on. There was nowhere to go. Even McFadden was covered across the way, so it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, that's one thing I think that if you're Bruce Gronkowski, you have to do. You got to move the chains. You got to be accurate and quit getting the football out of your hands. More than anything, you've got to make good decisions and avoid the turnovers. Don't force the ball into areas that could lead to crucial turnovers. I think dumping that ball on that play was smart. It's something that Tom Cable wants from his young quarterback.
Inside, they got Fanene as a defensive tackle along with Rucker. Gathers and Michael Johnson at the defensive end. 2nd down and 10. The nickel secondary awaits Gronkowski. That's caught. It's the tight end Miller who got the touchdown pass before. Hit by Ndukwe. Picks up 18 yards on the play. And Oakland with no timeouts. The quick spike right there. It'll be quickly 2nd down and 10 with 9 seconds to play. Now remember, Janikowski's got a huge leg. His all-time long was 57 yards.
Just inside the 40. That's your target line. If they can pick up maybe another 6 yards on this play, you'll be right at the limits of the ability of Sebastian Janikowski, who we know can boom it through the uprights. Now, if they're going to try to gain another 6 or 7 yards, they're going to have to catch it close to the out-of-bounds line and then be able to catch it and step out within 9 seconds so they can stop the clock.
Still the nickel, 2nd down and 10 after the spike at the 45. Good time. McFadden out of bounds, stops the clock, and forced out of bounds on the near side by Jonathan Joseph. He picks up 6, and they're going to spot him at the 39-yard line.
They said they needed 6. He got 6. What a handy play. First of all, by the quarterback. He ran everyone off, then he dumped it quickly. Didn't waste any time getting the ball to Darren McFadden, who knew where he had to get to set up Sebastian Janikowski.
Janikowski missed last week for the first time all season. He was 13 of 13, then missed last week from 50. This will be a 57-yarder. This will tie his career long if he makes it. The hold by Lowe, it's way, well, timeout was taken. And thank goodness for Janikowski, and he's going to cash in on Cincinnati trying to ice him. So a timeout taken by the Bengals. That was like a practice kick, huh?
Yeah, he gets one. And most guys, you give them a practice, they tend to do better on the second one.
Look at Tom Cable. He has had an interesting season in his first full year as the coach of the Raiders.
He's been embattled here in Oakland, and many of his players the same way. So they're kind of all in this together. But boy, they're going to continue to fight. We told you just don't know what team you're going to get. Week 6, they battled the Philadelphia Eagles. The very next week, week 7, give up over 300 yards rushing to the Jets. But looks like he's got his team ready to play today.
All right. This will be a second try now for Sebastian Janikowski. 57-yard try. When he hit the 57-yarder before in his career, which was a career long, it won a game. So 4 seconds remain. Long snap will come from John Kondo. Shane Leckler will hold it on this natural grass surface. This is where the Oakland A's play baseball, so they have filled in the dirt infield with sod. 57-yard try. There is very little breeze, but if it is blowing, it is probably blowing at Janikowski. Oakland has already scored 7 unanswered points, and now they have scored only 7. Wide left. He was wide right. He was wide left. He had plenty of distance both times, and he could not convert. So first play Cincinnati, and with Pittsburgh losing today, that helps their cause even more. 3 consecutive wins by this Cincinnati team. It's going to go short here in the kickoff, and it's picked up by Holland at about the 17-yard line. And then he is drilled and finally taken down on the play by Dan Skuda, who is a rookie free agent out of Grand Valley State, to pick up 11 yards on the return. And we'll get a quick look here at Bruce Gradkowski.
Well, Bruce Gradkowski, we told you, kind of got it going in the second quarter. Had some drops early in that first quarter, but once he started settling down, I think he found the open receivers. He got the ball out of his hands very quickly, and you can tell now the confidence in that huddle has really gone to another level. The Raiders have done a better job, I think, in the second quarter of running the ball as well, but it all starts with Gradkowski on the center.
In the backfield, they got Bush. First down and 10. Here's a quick draw inside, incomplete, looking for Hayward Bay. He was covered on the play by Hall. What is interesting about the naming of Gradkowski as a starter this week, taking the place of the ineffective Jamarcus Russell. He was on the injury report on Monday with a hamstring, and they named him starting quarterback even with the injury.
Because they've seen, I think, enough of Jamarcus Russell. And I think the work ethic that comes with being able to play this game. And, you know, we even asked some of his former teammates at LSU about Andrew Whitworth, who played there, and said, yeah, he's not surprised that Jamarcus Russell is struggling. He has to understand that talent alone would not allow you to play well in the National Football League.
Here's Bush, a good block by Carlisle, and he is a load. He's out of Louisville, and he's brought down by Ndukwe and Brandon Johnson. It's a gain of 7 by Michael Bush, who had a long run last week for the Raiders against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, the Raiders ran the ball very well. 182 yards, 6.1 yards per carry against that Kansas City Chiefs defense. And so Michael Bush, he went over 100 yards rushing in that game, $114. He's the first back over 100 yards this season for the Oakland Raiders. And so they can get it cranked up. Remember, former offensive line coach is Tom Cable. He wants to run the football.
3rd and 3. That run got him out to the 35-yard line. Trent is coming as the 5th defensive back. He's a rookie out of the University of Michigan. There's a block by Bush, and Gronkowski throws. It was caught by Hayward Bay. He was in bounds, they say, beating Jonathan Joseph. Gain of 7 on 3rd and 3. That was a good-looking catch by the rookie. He's to the 42.
Carson Palmer was all over it. He was signaling a non-catch, but watch the ball come out quickly. They've done a good job of protecting Gronkowski. Hayward Bay comes back to the ball, double catch, 2 feet in, right in front of Jonathan Joseph. But the offensive line now is starting to really settle in. They're providing excellent protection for Gronkowski, who we said, getting the ball out of his hand quickly has been key to him playing well today.
Gathers and Fanene are on that defensive line. Pecco's in the middle along with Tank Johnson. First down and 10 yards to go for the Oakland Raiders at the 42-yard line. First series of the second half. McFadden and brought down on the play by Pecco after a gain of 3. We'll put him at the 45-yard line. This McFadden is an interesting guy too. #1 pick out of Arkansas last year. Injured a great deal with turf toe. Back now, he's kind of that wild card in the backfield, isn't he?
He's the versatile one. We already talked about Michael Bush, and we've seen Justin Fargas. Those are the guys who are the heavy runners inside. But McFadden gives you maybe a little bit of everything. He could throw it. He could catch it. He could block. He could play wide receiver. He split out wide. He's a guy that can put up some big numbers with all of his talent.
It's 2nd down and 7. Here comes McFadden. Carlisle lead block. And the tackle made across the way by Crocker. He missed a couple days of practice this week with leg issues. 5-yard gain to the 50-yard line.
Dhani Jones shooting the gap, missing the tackle in the backfield, but really forcing the issue. Playing fast, very physical and aggressive. I think Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator for the Bengals, they've got to figure out how they're going to get penetration into the backfield and how they're going to put pressure on Bruce Gronkowski, facing a third and very short 3rd and 2 situation. They've got to be able to do more, I think, to disrupt the timing of the passing game for the Raiders, because, boy, they're getting in sync and getting in greater rhythm.
Pat Sims is coming for Pecco on the line, 3rd down and 2. Fed, he's got the first down. They get Bush running. He got by Crocker, and then he was brought down in the secondary on a gain of 10 on 3rd and 2, and Michael Bush gets a first down.
The last 3 possessions for the Raiders on offense, they've been able to do this. Get movement up front, get the runners to the second level. They've been able to move the ball. In the final possession of the first half, it finished with a Sebastian Janikowski field goal attempt. Had they not run out of time, you get the sense they were moving the ball ever so close to the end zone, and here they start off the second half doing the same.
First down and 10. Bush remains in the backfield for Bruce Gronkowski. Good block by Henderson, going deep and looking for Hayward Bay in the end zone, and almost intercepted. Great coverage on the play by Leon Hall. He's a terrific cornerback, making his 34th consecutive start today.
Real good athletic ability, tracked the ball very well. He became the receiver, taking Hayward Bay out of the play, and Hayward Bay was able to break it up. He became the defensive back on this one. You thought Leon Hall had it intercepted, pulled it into his belly. You can see the ball comes out just before he hit the ground. But real excellent coverage, squeezing the receiver, staying close to the chest and playing the ball in the air.
Nice balance on this drive by the Raiders. 4 runs and 3 passes.
Well, they're moving the ball with great rhythm and great consistency.
McFadden's in the backfield, 2nd down and 10. This is McFadden, Gallery with the lead block, and then brought down by Ndukwe after a gain of 5. And Ndukwe taking the place of the injured Roy Williams, who's out for the year. He's down to the 35-yard line.
If you're Ndukwe, you feel that alley as a safety. You got to come up and you've got to get lower than the ball carrier. Don't tackle with your chest. Take a look.
Well, when you were playing in the secondary and you saw a big guy like that, where do you aim when you tackle a guy like that?
I was taught by Dick LeBeau, you don't take a man on where his power is. If he is stronger up top, you go low. If he's a guy with big thighs, big legs, then you got to take him on up top. So you have to be able to measure the ball carrier and decide how you're going to get him on the ground.
Good advice. 3rd down and 5. Farkas in the backfield. Good play. And you can see Frosty Rucker bringing down Farkas on a gain of a yard to the 34.
If it was a guy like Barry Sanders, you just grab for what you could get.
air usually, right?
Yeah, he was a guy that, I tell you what, it was tough negotiating him to the ground. Right now, though, this Raiders offense, you can tell they're gaining some confidence, setting up Sebastian Janikowski with another field goal attempt. He's got to be able to convert on this.
Well, he missed from 57 as we were going to halftime. This will be a 52-yard drive to the other end with very little or no breeze, and there's no movement on those flags on top of the uprights. Leckler the hole. He's got it. 52 yards away. Janikowski just drilled one from 52 yards, 10 unanswered points by the Oakland Raiders, and now it goes to the Cincinnati Bengals, who scored Solomon, and 2 of the first 3 times they had the ball today.
Give a lot of credit to the Raiders defense, who have seemed to have dialed in. They've been better and stronger against the run, and boy, if they put pressure on Carson Palmer.
This will be deep in the end zone. Yep, there's nowhere to go through. That's Bernard Scott back there, and he lets it fly right by him. Kickoff to the 20-yard line, first down and 10 yards to go. Whitworth, by the way, is back at the left tackle. You remember left late in the first half with an injury. Scott is in the backfield. They got 2 tight ends. Coates is on the move. Palmer. Here they come. He's hit. It's incomplete. He was drilled by Gerard Warren, a former #1 pick. It's second down and 10.
We told you that the Oakland Raiders are playing with a great deal more of confidence. You could see the pressure on Carson Palmer starting to batter away at the Bengals quarterback. They've been able to slam the door shut on the running game. And if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, you've got to get something going on offense. You got to get something going right now.
No Seymour on that defensive line for the Raiders. He's injured. They got Kelly in there right now. Second down and 10. And Scott in the backfield for Palmer. He gets the call. He gets a block from Ocho Cinco, and that opens the door. Bernard Scott, and there he goes.
He's got pull-away speed.
He's being chased by Huff. It's like he's running out of gas, and he's down to the 19-yard line. Huff makes the stop from behind. He had that 96-yard kickoff return last week against Pittsburgh, and here he goes with a catch and run of 61 yards of first down.
How about his ability to fight once he gets to the second level, refusing to go out of bounds? You can see Branch is there, and he just swats guys right out of the way. Chris Johnson, 37, and then he turns on the Jets. Huff gets back in it, is able to haul him down. But what a huge play by the rookie running back. Bernard Scott just showing up big. The Bengals have had players step up when other guys have gone down all season.
That's the longest run from scrimmage this season by Cincinnati. And now is Leonard, who is stopped in the secondary by both Hiram Eugene and Asamoah. It's a gain of 8. We're going to spot him at the 11-yard line.
Last 3 possessions, nothing for Ocho Cinco. So he has not been in the mix. And so they get it going by running the football, breaking off the long one to Bernard Scott. Ocho Cinco, Ocho Nada on the last 3 possessions.
See? Second down and 2. Jeremy Johnson is in that offset out. Leonard sidesteps 1 defender and picks up 3. Morrison among the couple that bring him down on a gain of 3, and he'll be down to the 8-yard line. We've only seen Larry Johnson for a couple carries today, and back on the field comes Scott. Great Scott is what they say now, because this guy is at 2 straight good games.
Well, how phenomenal have they been in terms of being able to run the ball without Cedric Benson right now? The Bengals over 150 yards rushing in the game.
First and goal at the 8. Couple tight ends. Good block by Cook, but they come colliding in. Gain of 2 on the play. And as you can see, they got Richardson and Sam Williams on the stop, and he'll be down to the 6-yard line.
And the most important thing, we saw Andrew Whitworth leave the game in the first half. He's back in there. Now they're starting to pound away, running off the left side behind Nate Livings. Whitworth, I think, is a Pro Bowl candidate. He is playing phenomenal football. And boy, is he steady this offensive line. Didn't they spend the first-round pick on the left tackle? And they haven't even had to use him. Andre Smith has not played for this team, but yet they're playing very well.
But he has been practicing. Second down and goal at the 6. Ellis is chasing the quarterback, and that's knocked away. A beautiful defensive play by Tyvon Branch. Looking on the near side, then Coles over there, and Scott now 3rd and goal at the 6.
I got to tell you, this is a really good throw from Carson Palmer. I thought this was going to be a touchdown, but watch Branch close in, able to grab that arm. He didn't allow Coles to get that right arm up. See how he was able to lock the arm? Boy, that's playing defensive back at its best. That's a little cheat. The holding of the arm, not allowing the receiver to get both hands up.
4 in the secondary. Leonard at the side of Palmer. 3rd and goal at the 6. Good block by Whitworth. For Colwell, covered by Huff. Flag has been thrown at the 17. I don't know if it was a late hit or not.
There is a flag down.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense. Number 26. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Shockingly, that is the first penalty against the Oakland Raiders, which traditionally are the most penalized team in the NFL.
Yeah, take a look at it and see that he can't hit to the head.
Yep.
See, he leans in with the head. What did Larry Johnson tell us, who had played in Kansas City, played in this division against the Raiders for so many years? He said the Raiders will make mistakes. They'll make costly errors late in the game. Early on, they'll play like Superman, but later in the game, they'll make mistakes. We just saw it.
First to go at the 3, Brian Leonard in the backfield. He gets the call. Great defensive play turned in by Thomas Howard, the next Kansas City Chief, and that is a loss of 2 back to the 5.
The Raiders do have playmakers on defense. They've got speed, and you see the speed of Howard, 53, shooting in the backfield, stuffing the Bengals. So the Bengals have not been able to run it down here inside the red zone. And even when Carson Palmer has dropped back, the coverage has been really good. It's going to be interesting to see what Bob Bratkowski dials up on this one.
Second and goal at the 5, the 2 tight ends, and Leonard remains. Here he goes. Good block by Whitworth, diving to the 1. And hit on the play and brought down by Tommy Kelly on a gain of 4. Slow to get up. They're using him a lot today. The third-year player out of Rutgers.
It's been 8 plays and 79 yards on this drive. They've run it 6 of the 8 plays, and they've run it 31 times today. When Marvin Lewis said, hey, we're going to stick with the run game, and boy, did he mean it. And you got to wonder if they're beginning to wear down this Oakland Raiders defense.
Good point. They got this great position with the 61-yard run by Scott, who is back in, 3rd and goal at the 1. Fake to Caldwell. The blitz by Rout. Look at this. What a great defensive play by the Raiders back to the 18-yard line. And they're going to have to settle for 3. The Raiders hold them out.
Oh, you like to be able to say, if you're Carson Palmer, you can't take a sack here. But more than anything, you've got to secure the ball. You can't turn it over. And look at Stanford Rout's in the backfield on top of Carson Palmer before he could even blink. And I think he wanted to get rid of it. But before you just throw the ball up carelessly, make sure you secure it and hope you can still knock it through the uprights.
That is the 2nd sack on Palmer today. He was only sacked 5 times over the last 5 weeks. Now here is Shane Graham, a 37-yard try. He's had a couple blocks this year. He's going to miss it. Wow. What a win for the Raiders, and now they've got momentum. Well, the defense did the job. Graham just missed the 37-yard field goal try. And the defense of the Raiders hold him out of the end zone and hold him out of getting anything on the board.
Yeah, Bengals fans hoping the given season hasn't come early, because it appears as though they may be ready to give one away, squandering that opportunity to score.
On the 27, push in the backfield, 1st and 10, and he was drilled as he threw. There's a flag that's going to be on Leon Hall. They're going for Hayward Bay.
How about that? I thought it was a really good play by Bratkowski. Pressure on top of him, giving his wide receiver a chance to make a play.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 29. Automatic first down.
And if you're Leon Hall, see the pressure right on top of it. Ray Mauluga-Chini and Dukwe, and I think Hayward Bay put him to the ground first.
Did.
However, Hall was not playing the ball, but the contact was initiated by Darius Hayward Bay. He actually made a play for his team without catching the ball.
Sims and Ted Johnson are the 2 defensive tackles here. 19-yard penalty in essence to the 46, 1st and 10. Push in the backfield. Cornell Green with the block, almost caught, dropped by the 2nd tight end who's out there right now, and that is Tony Stewart, an ex-Bengal who played there from 02 to 06. 2nd and 10.
All right, Stewart had a step on the defender. Real good throw by Bratkowski. And you got to be able to think that Stewart could haul that ball in. Hit him in one hand. Why not reach out with 2 hands? The Oakland Raiders have not scored a touchdown in the second half in 7 straight games.
How about that?
Bruce Bratkowski has got the offense on the move. 2nd and long. And I think that's what he gives them, just a better opportunity. You can see they've had good rhythm since he's come into the game.
Malaluga and the coverage on the tight end on that last play. 2nd down and 10. Push in the backfield. And the call. Pulling tackle is Green. He fumbled. And it's picked up on the play by Gathers. He gets a block on the play, and then he is brought down from behind by Chaz Schillen. Sure enough, self-destructing the Raiders. Their second turnover today, a 38-yard return by Gathers. They'll put the ball at the Oakland Raider 13-yard line.
What did Marvin Lewis tell us? He said, our defense has been known to make plays late in games. Look at the hit in the hole. Chinedum Ndukwe comes in and slams it to the ball carrier, forcing the ball loose. Gathers, he picks it up. It's akin to the big play made against the Steelers last week when Frosty Rucker had an interception. That kind of turned the tide of the game, allowed the Bengals to rob and steal the momentum, and it's exactly what you have here.
Raiders, one of the worst takeaway giveaways in the NFL, as you can see right there. -1 today and -8 for the season. Bush does not cough the ball up that much, but sure enough, let's see if the Bengals can be opportunistic here with great beginning field position.
A hard-hitting Cincinnati Bengals defense turns the tide, and boy, the offense has to pay it off. It's up to Carson Palmer to turn that turnover into points.
Whitworth is on the right side. Scott in the backfield, 1st and 10. Bernard Scott is a block by Rowland and a gain down to about the 11-yard line. The initial hit was made by the rookie Desmond Bryant on the line. It's a gain of 2.
Cincinnati Bengals talked about their ability to run the ball. 160 yards rushing so far in the game. They've run it over 30 times, but they're going to still need more. Now, this Oakland Raiders defense, I think they really have stood tall here in the second half. They've played very well. Cincinnati Bengals have a fight on their hands.
But they got to be getting tired too, huh?
Sooner or later. Look at the production running the ball.
Scott in the backfield, 2nd down and 8. Palmer being chased by Richardson. Fauci, the ex-Raider, knocked out of bounds by Thomas Howard inside the 10, near the 7. Now mark him at the 8-yard line, and he picks up 3 on the play.
Bradkowski dialing up every single play. Misdirection, roll out, reverse bootleg. They do get some receivers open, but look at the second level. They're all covered, and then they swarm to Fauci to be able to make the tackle. So they're forcing Carson Palmer to dump the ball off and not allow shots inside the end zone.
I know you love the work habits as you take a look at Bob Bradkowski, his dad Zeke Bradkowski.
I remember Zeke.
To Bart Starr up in Green Bay.
Backup quarterback to Bart Starr.
I was a ball boy with the Packers with Bob Bradkowski growing up in Green Bay.
You know everyone around this league, don't you?
3rd and 5. And that is another great play by Stanford Route right in front of Andre Caldwell. No yellow on the field. It was 3rd and a short 5, and so they got to settle for 3, or at least a try for 3 again with great position.
You think Bob Bradkowski didn't want to get this one into the end zone, doesn't want to leave it up to Shane Graham, but look at the coverage by Stanford Route. It's been that way here in the second half. Excellent coverage on the back end, and then pressure again in the face of Carson Palmer.
Here's a 25-yard field goal try by Graham. He was 4 of 5 last week against Pittsburgh. This guy was cut 5 times before landing in Cincinnati. Got it. And that stops a 10-0 run by Oakland. This game a lot closer than I'm sure a lot of people thought.
Yeah, I do believe that when we talk with the Cincinnati Bengals, they knew that the Raiders were capable of pitching this kind of game. They felt like this was a team that was very talented. It's a matter of which team was going to show up, Jekyll or Hyde. And they showed up and they played well.
So Graham had just knocked a 25-yard field goal through. Will knock this downfield at about the 5-yard line for Jonathan Holland. And here goes the returner for the Raiders. There was a hold there by Tony Stewart. No call made. And there was a tackle eventually made on the special teams by Dan Scuda. It's the second one he's made, the rookie free agent out of Grand Valley State. He was signed off the practice squad in mid-October. Flag is down, as you can see, with 3:20 to play here in the 3rd. Raiders, I think, are going to be called for a special teams penalty. They only have 4 coming into today. That's the fewest on any special teams unit in the NFL.
They've been very good in that area. And they have only been called for 1 penalty today.
There is no foul on the play.
And they're still the fewest with only 4. 1st and 10. And with a quick handoff on 1st and 10, you can see the bulldozing run with a gain of 6. It's Fargas who works his way up to the 33-yard line.
Tom Cable's offense is going to be tough when you're giving the football away, and you can see the Bengals have turned those 2 turnovers into 10 points on the scoreboard.
No surprise there. The Gathers would return on a 75-yard touchdown return against Cleveland back in early October. 2nd and 4. This is Fargas. and brought down by Pat Sims after a gain of a yard to the 34. That's a pretty important game in that Eastern Division.
Yeah, and JB, the Patriots rarely lose 2 consecutive games, and the Jets badly in need of a win.
Bush is in. 5 in the secondary, including Trent. 3rd down and 3 from the 34. Good block by Cornell Green. That ball was intended for Bush with the coverage on the play by Johnson. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage. 3 and out for the Oakland Raiders. They can do nothing with it in a drive which I thought they needed to kind of maybe regain the momentum of this game.
Oh, you can see Gronkowski, he's really upset with himself. That ball batted down at the line. And they've been giving him really good protection. He has not been sacked all day. We talked about him getting the ball out quick. I think that's one of the reasons why. But the Bengals able to pitch a 3 and out, get the ball back for Carson Palmer.
Rucker the one to defend it nicely. Leckler will punt. Gets off a rocket. Quan Cosby is back. Lands at the 5. And was not saved. Hang time of over 5. Punted to the end zone by Leckler from the 20-yard line. 1st and 10. Scott in the backfield nearing 100 yards on the ground. He's had a 61-yard carry today. 1st and 10 for Palmer. Deep, incomplete. He was looking for Purify. There was a flag on the play. There was coverage across the way by Huff and by Asamoah, one of the most respected quarterbacks in the NFL.
Gotta let him play. That's what Nnamdi said.
Illegal contact. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
That's on the Pro Bowler and most highly paid quarterback in the NFL, Nnamdi Asamoah, a Cal.
And he is a good one.
You know, we were talking to the Bengals yesterday, and the thing that you and I were struck with is just how much this thing has turned around. And it really began back in the offseason after the end of last regular year.
Yeah, and you talked to Carson Palmer. He said losing all those games last year, winning only 4 was a huge eye-opener. And Donnie Jones said it was embarrassing. They had to go back to work.
1st and 10. It's Scott hit by Tyvon Branch, and he will pick up nothing on the play.
Marvin Lewis has his team turned around. The players came to him after last year and asked to be coached harder, and they started back in April in the OTAs, really coaching every single player to get better.
Scott on 2nd and 10, chased down by Chris Johnson. Loss of a yard on the play, back to the 23-yard line. So they're having trouble running the ball right now, but the players demanded it. The players said, make it more challenging for us, and they all bought in, and so the offseason was amongst the best under Marvin Lewis in Cincinnati.
And then, you know, you need people to kind of overachieve. You need some surprises, and, you know, Marvin Lewis said we went in the draft, knew we had to get better on the offensive line. We drafted Andre Smith. Turns out all the other guys responded, guys like Kyle Cook and Andrew Whitworth.
3rd and 11 to go deep, looking for Coles, who has caught the ball, working on Chris Johnson. What a catch. What a catch by the ex-Jet at the 36. 40-yard pickup and a 1st down. What a play.
What did Carson Palmer tell us? He said we have a lot of guys like Lavernius Coles who are losing at other places, and they're tired of losing. They wanted to come here, help win games.
Scoring touchdowns on 2 of their first 3 possessions on 1-yard touchdown runs by Carson Palmer. 17-10 the score.
It's one thing to say you want to win, another thing to show it. Action speaks louder than words. Look at this catch by Lavernius Coles. Chris Johnson was in his hip pocket, had him covered, and he still comes down with the ball.
1st and 10, 36-yard line. The fake to Scott, the end around, and it goes for the 2nd time. Oh, he fumbled the ball. That was Andre Caldwell. You know what? I don't think he was down either when he fumbled. It's a loss of 4. I think he was on a body.
The Bengals were able to get on top of it.
You're right.
Fortunately for them, Andrew Whitworth was there, number 77.
You're right.
Watch this. Look at the penetration by the silver and black. Thomas Howard in the backfield, and then you can see Jay Richardson. When you get that many bodies in the backfield, and you can see ball comes out. 77, Whitworth smartly covers it. Boy, is he a good player. He's a guy you can win with. Caldwell putting it on the ground.
2nd down, 14. Scott in the backfield. Scott blocked by Williams, and an attempted block on the play by Kyle Cook. Chris Johnson makes the stop after a gain of 4, and they're going to put the ball at the 36-yard line.
On the previous long pass from Palmer to Lavernius Coles, that was a 3rd and 11. And we already said that when it's 3rd and 10 or longer, the Bengals are the best in the league at converting those impossible situations into 1st down. Now they're facing another 3rd and 10, but maybe this is right where the Bengals want to be. They've been very good here.
Route is the nickel back. Leonard in the backfield. Larry Johnson has only carried twice today. Early in the game, 3rd and 10. Rolling with a good block. That's caught. Andre Caldwell brought down on the play by Route. He's got the first down. Wrestled at the 24. Picks up 12 on 3rd and 10. Move the chains.
3rd and 10. The Bengals love it. Most teams never want to be in 3rd and 10 or longer. And that's where the Bengals are the best in the National Football League. Now, after making the catch, watch Caldwell fight for yards afterwards. He knew where the first down marker was. All he needed to do was beat the defender for 1 or 2 more additional yards, and boy, was he able to pick it up.
Caldwell's got a couple of catches today on 3rd down. Here's Leonard on 1st and 10. And brought down by Sam Williams, a linebacker, on a meager gain of a yard to the 23-yard line. When Cedric Benson does come back, and he was inactive today with a hip flexor, but when he comes back, and then they got Larry Johnson, they're going to go 4 deep at that position.
Well, and they're going to be very good. And I think the fact that they have depth at the running back position, they're allowed to rest Cedric Benson today. And I think they'll be able to rest him maybe even for another week, if he needs it. Marvin Lewis has really built, I think, a very strong roster, very deep at several positions on this football team.
A couple tight ends, 2nd down and 9 for in the Oakland secondary. Mel Seymour injured his back in the first half. We haven't seen him since. Here's Scott. Dancing. Ochocinco with the block. Huff with the hit and the tackle at about the 15, 14-yard line, close to a first down. And Scott thought maybe he wasn't down at all. And wisely, first of all, he's got to button his trousers there. Looks like his pants are going to fall down.
Bernard Scott is different than any guy they have. Watch the footwork. See his speed and then acceleration. There was no hole there. There was a defender, number 52, Kurt Morrison, was there, but the speed and quickness to beat the unblocked defender at the line of scrimmage is what allows him to get to the second level. Well, he should have kept running into the end zone, and maybe they should take a look at it.
I think maybe his right leg may have been down. We were hidden with all the congestion. He gets the first down nonetheless, 14-yard line, running in the backfield. And there was a fumble. They were going to Jeremy Johnson, the fullback. It's a fumble, and the Raiders have gotten it. And look at where they fumbled the ball in the red zone at the 15-yard line. Picked up by Desmond Bryant. Another turnover. That's the first red zone turnover this season by the Cincinnati Bengals. Fullback Jeremy Johnson just fumbled at the 15 of the Oakland Raiders. They take over. First down and 10 yards to go. Fargus in the backfield with Lawton. Justin Fargus, Lawton the lead block, and the tackle made by Mamaluga. After a gain of 5 at the 50-yard line. Listen to the last 3 red zone appearances by the Cincinnati Bengals. Missed field goal, and a turnover right there. Yeah,
and really just can't put the Oakland Raiders away. We talked about them building on a huge win in Pittsburgh last week. They're 4-0 on the road so far this season, and they wanted to be able to come here to Oakland and get their 5th consecutive road victory. And right now, they're allowing the Raiders to hang in there.
Sims and Tank Johnson are the 2 defensive tackles. 2nd down and 5. Fargus remains in the backfield with a couple tight ends. Stopping that play in mid-motion with 10:51 to play here in the 4th quarter. Again, I'd like to apologize for my cold today. Solomon is feeding me and keeping me in hot liquids. Thank you so much for nursing this cold of mine.
You got that usual baritone voice you always have. It's good. Trust me.
I would say right here, you're nice to say. I would say right here, the Raiders need a pretty significant offensive drive to recapture the momentum in this game.
Absolutely. If you are the Oakland Raiders.
Luther zone infraction. Defense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
The Bengals can't quite put this Raiders team away just yet, handing the ball over.
Gathers and Fanene are the 2 defensive ends. This is off to Fargus on 1st down and 10. He was tripped up on the play by Dhani Jones, then finished off on the play by guys on the defensive line. It's a gain of 8, and they're out to the 32.
Well, they dumped this one off to Justin Fargus. You get him in the open field against the linebacker, normally he's going to be able to get away, but how about the job done by Dhani Jones, just wrapping him up at the ankles, getting him down before he can hit the first down mark.
4 in the secondary. 2nd down and 2. Bruce Gronkowski. Fargus still in the backfield. It's Miller in motion. He caught a touchdown pass earlier in the game. This is Justin Fargus, a 1,000-yard rusher a couple years ago. Just kind of tripped over his own feet, picking up about 5 to the 37. He gets the first down.
I think he was smart. See, I think some running backs know where that first down marker is, You only need 1 yard. Instead of trying to hit the home run, just get the 1 yard, move the chains, go back to the huddle, and try to hit the home run on the very next play. I think he knew where that first down marker was, and he was struggling just to get there as opposed to trying to get more.
Fargas remains, first down and 10. From the 38 for Gronkowski. Here they come up the middle. He's belted as he throws. It's dropped on a pass thrown back at the tight end Miller. And the coverage on the play included Ndukwe.
Pressure up the middle. Brought from the Bengals defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer. They're not going to allow Bruce Gronkowski to just sit in the pocket and pick his secondary apart. I believe you got to blitz the run, but more importantly, you got to put pressure on the Raiders quarterback.
4 in the secondary, second down and 10. He can run, as can Fargas, who cuts across the grain, then he meets the grasp of Dhani Jones, the leading tackler for this defense. It's a 9-yard gain. Nice little gain to the 47-yard line.
And you can see what happens when Gronkowski doesn't get rid of the ball on time. See, watch the happy feet. He's like, uh-oh, now what do I do with it? Got to get rid of it. It's like holding on to a grenade. Bad things happen when you hold on to the football at the quarterback position. The coverage was there. The pressure was not. And so he just kind of held his water in that pocket. Eventually, he found an open man.
And, of course, that's one of the basic differences between Gronkowski and Jamarcus Russell, who's so big and just lumbers when he's in that pocket.
Look at how good he's doing on third down today.
He's got a 3rd and 1 right now with Fargas in the backfield, and Fargas gets the call and dives ahead. Looks like he's got the first down. Tank Johnson came through. He does not have the first down, rather. Thought maybe they're going to give him a better spot. They did not. He's down at the 47. Had to get to the 48. Now, a pretty important 4th and 1.
Look at this. 8 minutes now.
Oh, they're going to punt.
You got to punt it. Here's the deal, and I know the crowd, they want him to go for it. Shane Lechler is by far the best punter in the National Football League. He's going to win your field position. Your defense is playing well, coming up with stops against this Bengals offense. You nail them deep down inside their territory, and you sit the defense on them and hope you can get the ball back.
Lechler to punt, and Gronkowski back inside the 10. That almost hit one of the Seagulls. It'll be fair caught, 9-yard line. I liked your point on what you said about the Raiders needing to punt there and not go for it on 4th and 1.
Oh, Lechler, I think it was a spectacular punt. Pin the Bengals deep inside their territory, inside the 10-yard line. They've got a 90-yard field to go to try to put more points on the board.
It's first down and 10. Scott throws a block, and there's a pass dropped by Ochocinco. First time they've gone to him in about 4 or 5 possessions. Johnson was defending from the 10, 2nd and 10. 107 yards on the ground for Scott so far. He gets the call here, and he's wrapped up and taken down by Tyvon Branch, an emerging player in the secondary, and a loss of the play of a yard. Back to the 8.
Now the Bengals are trying to go to their bread and butter, trying to run it with Bernard Scott already over 100 yards rushing on the day. But look, a silver and black jersey in every gap, slamming the door shut. They tried to go to their go-to receiver in Chad Ochocinco, but what about Chris Johnson, the job that he's doing against him? He said he's been mentored by Deion Sanders, and boy, is he locked in on his coverage today.
Leonard and Fauci will be at the side of Carson Palmer. Route is the extra defensive back. They got a nickel back there, 3rd down and 12. Uh-oh, here comes Ellis. Down goes Palmer at the 2. That's the 3rd sack today by the Raiders. 3 and out for Cincinnati. They got a punt. The defense has strengthened, a loss of 6 on the play.
Dennis Rowland, 74, right tackle, beaten immediately by Greg Ellis. Coming around the right side. Watch 74. See, he can't keep him off the quarterback. Can't slow him down. It's like a runaway train. A race to the quarterback for Greg Ellis. Dipping the right shoulder, shortening that corner as he comes away with the sack. So it was smart to punt the football.
Huber is not going to have the full 14 yards to get this baby away. Johnny Lee Higgins has got 3 career punt return touchdowns back at midfield. The rookie gets it away. Great punt, 45-yard line. Higgins will take it, hangs on the 4-2. Running out of bounds at the Cincinnati 43. Tom Cable has not won since beating Philadelphia. Here he is now with his team and going up against adversary Marvin Lewis. 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line and a punt. Back to pass goes the quarterback. Gronkowski hit as he throws. It wobbles and it is intercepted and picked off by Jonathan Joseph. They were going for Murphy. How about that? Again, self-destructing the Raiders. Gronkowski is down, the ball to the 21. Third turnover for Oakland. Shooting themselves in the foot. He was hit as he threw.
Jonathan Fanene, you'll see him come in right here from the backside. Look at that hit. That caused the ball to flutter, picked off by Jonathan Joseph. His 5th interception of the season, making a play on the ball. He was able to find it and came back to the ball and made a play on it. We always say pressure leads to picks. I think that's a perfect example. Jonathan Fanene putting pressure on Gronkowski, forcing the high wobbly throw, leading to an interception by Jonathan Joseph.
And leading to a challenge. Tom Gable just thrown the challenge flag out there. Obviously going to see if the interception was trapped or caught. As Don Carey will go over and visit with the coach of the Oakland Raiders. In his first full season, he took over last year and finished 4-8 for the fired Lane Kiffin.
Oakland is challenging the ruling on the field of an intercepted pass.
I think it's worth it. Raiders have challenged an interception by Cincinnati's Jonathan Joseph. We think it is an interception after watching the replays up here in our broadcast booth. Let's see if Don Carey thinks so as well. You turn on his microphone. Oh, won't go.
No technical difficulty there.
Can't hear him.
When he points this way, that means it's Bengals ball. Now I'm going to show you. Now take a look at it. Okay, now he's going to make the catch. See, there's the catch. Now the ball does hit the ground, but it does not become dislodged or rotate in his hand in any way. Maintain possession of the ball after making the catch. Ruled an interception.
Jeremy Johnson with the block, and there is a run. It goes to Scott, who picks up a couple on the play. Looked like Ellis, and a flag was thrown. Ellis made the stop. Well, now we're going to have to go the whole game without.
He said it's offsides on the defense.
Oh. The lip reader school you've gone to.
Just a little bit. I've been down there up close and personal watching them call too many penalties on the team I was playing for.
1st and 5. Again, Scott in the backfield, 106 yards rushing today. Coates will be back there with him. Carson Palmer's got a couple 1-yard touchdown runs himself today. We've also gotten a 25-yard field goal from Shane Graham. 1st and 5. And this is Scott into the secondary and brought down with Ellis around his ankles on a gain of 7. Good looking run out to the 33-yard line.
This is where the Cincinnati Bengals, I think, have been exceptional. In the 4th quarter of football games, their ability to close out ball games, running the football and playing phenomenal defense. The first career 100-yard game by Bernard Scott, who got the start today. 19 carries, 113 yards. This team can run it, whether it's with Cedric Benson, whether it's with Bernard Scott, Brian Leonard, and now Larry Johnson. Marvin Lewis has built himself a stable of running backs who can help close out games and help them win a division title.
Leonard on 1st and 10, trying to find a very small hole to go through. And you can see the guys making the tackle right there, Gerard Warren, allowing just a 1-yard gain to the 34-yard line. Yeah, in fact, Marvin Lewis said that was the area of the most growth in closing games. We've seen it the last 2 weeks in wins over Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we've seen them be able to do it. They've come from behind and have won games on the road. The offense has played well, and he said that last week. The last couple of wins against Baltimore and Pittsburgh, the defense has gone out on the field and didn't even allow a completion. He felt that's playing dominating defense. Not even in his heyday as a defense coordinator with the Baltimore Ravens did he see a defense play that well.
Scott is in 2nd and 9. This is a catch by Ocho Cinco. Hit from behind by Chris Johnson. Gain of 12. First catch in the 2nd half, and he's up to the 46-yard line with a 1st down.
Yeah, we kept waiting for Ocho Cinco to catch ball, and now he gets inside of Chris Johnson. Able to beat the jam at the line of scrimmage. You get inside on that slant route, Carson Palmer's not going to miss him. Big play from Chad Ochocinco.
1st down and 10. He had a couple great catches on early drives for Cincinnati today. Scott. And finds a seam, and then Samoa brings him down after a gain of 5 to the 49-yard line.
Do you notice his ability to change directions without losing time as he's carrying the football. The defense can't close on him. He can redirect himself. He can shut his feet down, see, and then change position. And then watch the little giddy up right there. He's able to really change directions, keeps the defenders off balance, and weave his way through the defense without losing time while the defense is closing in on him. I love his running style, and he continues to press the hole to get positive yardage.
Coates had a nice block, too. They got the full house right now. 2nd down and 5 at the 49 of Oakland. Scott. Well, they had Jay Richardson, who shed the block of Whitworth and got him and allowed just a gain of a yard to the 48-yard line.
How about the ball control offense of the Cincinnati Bengals? We said that Marvin Lewis made some drastic changes in their style of play. This is what he wanted to do. It's been a 2-year metamorphosis. 43 rushing attempts in this game. They've been dominant over 37 minutes in terms of time of possession. This is the style of play that he's always wanted for this football team.
It's 3rd down and 4 from the 48. 5 in the secondary for the Raiders. Coates with the block for Leonard. Almost intercepted. Almost picked off by Thomas Howard, who since 07 is tied with the #1 mark of linebackers who have made interceptions in the league. He misses it right there. They got a punt to the Bengals.
Watch Thomas Howard. He's one of the better coverage linebackers in the National Football League. Watch his speed. He finds the ball, able to squeeze Brian Leonard to the sideline where only he could possibly make the catch. If Leonard doesn't get a hand in there to knock it down, Howard's going to come away with an interception.
Huber to punt. Long snap from Clark Harris. That's a high one. And St. Louis was let go a couple weeks ago. Deep back is Johnny Lee Higgins. This will sail into the end zone. And to the 20-yard line, it'll be 1st down and 10. So Oakland will have it with 2 timeouts, 2:12 to play at their 20-yard line. What kinds of things do you expect to see on this drive by the Raiders?
I expect to see some quick rhythm passes, getting the ball out of his hands quickly. You have the 2 timeouts, and you still have the 2-minute warning, so you want to be able to snap this ball and then be able to use what basically is 3 timeouts.
Rucker and Fanene, the defensive tackles, 5 in the secondary. 1st and 10 for Gronkowski. Goes underneath right here. It's McFadden. And he is brought down on the play by the linebacker, Dhani Jones. It's a gain of 6. He's to the 26. We're at the 2-minute warning. Raiders will have 2 timeouts. They're down by a touchdown. So it comes down to this. The Raiders with a couple of timeouts, down by 7. 2-minute warning beginning at their right now 20-yard line to the 26 on that first play. 2nd down and 4. 5 in the secondary. Trent is out there, the rookie out of Michigan. You see the allotment of receivers put out by Gronkowski. At his side is McFadden. 2nd down and 4. The blitz is on by Ndukwe. And that's caught by Miller. Oh, what a big play right here. Drilled by Jonathan Joseph at the 45-yard line. And that's a 19-yard catch and run by Zach Miller. Now at the 45, 1st and 10.
Mike Zimmer decided to blitz Bruce Gronkowski. Chinedum Ndukwe was the blitzing defender, but they caught him in coverage with a linebacker on the tight end, Zach Miller.
McFadden at the side of Gronkowski after the 19-yard catch and run by Miller. 1st down and 10 into the nickel. Here comes Rucker. Another catch by Miller, guarded by Dhani Jones. The progress takes him to the 46. It's a gain of 9. 2nd down and 1.
Gronkowski is scrappy. He's beaten the Bengals once in 2006 when he was in Tampa, and he's knocking on the door again to try to tie this ball game.
2nd down and 1, and here comes Gathers. He's in trouble and on the move. Chased by Gathers. Out of bounds. He wisely throws it. The clock at 1:22. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Oh, he told you he was smart. Some of the pass rushers, the defenders for the Bengals, Gathers including, got tired on the play. They actually stopped once he had the pump fake. And so if you're Mike Zimmer, you figure, how can we get pressure on a young quarterback like Bruce Gronkowski, who's very mobile and capable of eluding the pass rusher and buying more time? You saw him complete the big-time play to Zach Miller. Did you blitz him again here? I say you got to put pressure on him. You don't want him to grow comfortable standing in the pocket.
Gathers and Michael Johnson are the 2 defensive ends. Tank Johnson is in the middle. 3rd down and 1. McFadden trying to get the 1st down. I think his progress probably takes him in. He is hit by an avalanche of Bengal defenders. He picks up the yard. They give him the 1st down. He's to the 45. They're going to move the chains. The clock at 1:11. Oakland playing with 2 timeouts and a timeout taken. Tom Cable's got this on his doorstep here. Let's see if indeed what you were talking about before, being a good closing team, holds true for Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah, they have to be able to do it on defense. Something that Marvin Lewis talked about yesterday when we met with him. It's one of the things he was most proud with this defense. Yeah, they're playing more physical. I think they're being more smart. He said, but our ability to close out games in the fourth quarter, to come up with a big play, and that's what he's asking from guys like Dhani Jones, guys like Jonathan Joseph, and other defenders. Frosty Rucker had a big play last week, an interception. So these defenders have grown accustomed to making plays. Remember, they asked the coaches to work them harder?
Yeah.
It was for moments like this in the fourth quarter to be able to win games when it was on the line, and now they're faced with it. On the other side, though, if you're Tom Cable, you've got a new quarterback. And I think if Gradkowski can make a play here, get it into the end zone, boy, with that lift, the confidence and the belief they have in Gradkowski is something that Russell couldn't do, just couldn't inspire the team. And I think Gradkowski has been able to do that so far today.
Fanene takes the place of Johnson on the defensive line of Tank Johnson. First down and 10 from the 45. McFadden with the block. Gradkowski going long, going deep. He doesn't have a receiver because Darius Hayward-Bay was to the side. He had the nickel back there. That was Trent. Incomplete pass. Second down and 10.
Morgan could have actually, or Morgan Trent, excuse me, could have come up with the interception. He couldn't find the ball. See, watch 25. If you just find the ball, you're going to make a catch, and you're probably going to get the interception. He was drifting towards the wide receiver. You find the ball and make a play on it.
The nickel remains. Second down and 10. McFadden at his side. He didn't come out of his break quick enough. Schillens on the far side was covered across the way by Hall. Now it's third down and 10. He was very lackadaisical. He looked and whipping around his head, making a tough turn.
Yeah, Schillens, remember, he's battling a foot injury that kept him out of 8 games. He couldn't slam that foot in the ground and come back because he was a little late coming out of the break. Once he went to break, he didn't explode out of it and couldn't close on the ball.
Gathers Fanene, Michael Johnson on that defensive line. They've also now brought in Dan Skuta. He'll be the left defensive end. Third down and 10. Nichols secondary. Gradkowski almost intercepted. Incomplete for Schillens. It'll be fourth and 10. Coverage by Jonathan Joseph.
Is he good or what? He was in the hip pocket of Chaz Schilling. And you've got to be careful if you're Gradkowski going over to his side. He's a veteran cornerback already with 1 interception today, and he slices right underneath. If he makes this catch, game over. Bengals a winner.
It is fourth and 10. They need the Cincinnati 35. You see the time remaining. Oakland has 1 timeout. Big play right here. Watch for number 80. He's been instrumental this entire game in terms of receiving. He's their tight end. Henderson, the left tackle with the block. That's caught. This time Schillens gets it. 31-yard line, hit by Morgan Trent. And he was hit by Michael Johnson. Picks up 16 yards on the play. They quickly assemble at the 29-yard line. When it's first down and 10, they have 1 timeout remaining. They spike the ball. It'll be second down and 10 and 41 seconds to play, and they are still breathing.
You know, sometimes when you play offense, you've got to find somewhere to go with the football. And I think the Oakland Raiders now found a guy. They know that you can't throw it towards Jonathan Joseph. Leon Hall's been good on the other side. But I think they can see the nickel cornerback and Morgan Trent. Remember, he's a rookie, 6th-round pick from Michigan. They've been able to make some completions there. And so I think at crucial moments in games, you got to find the guy who you can break, or at least who you can make a play against. Let's see if Gradkowski goes there again.
Rucker is coming for Tank Johnson on the line. Second down and 10. The check down and the second option. Oh, what a catch! It's Murphy! Touchdown!
When you find a defender who you can make plays against, you stay away from the veterans, and the rookies stand out. And I thought Morgan Trent could have made a play earlier in the game by getting an interception. Couldn't stop Chaz Schillen from making a play. And Louis Murphy, the rookie from Florida, he is a competitor. Finds a way to make a play, beating another rookie for the game-tying touchdown.
They got to get the extra point in 33 seconds to play in regulation. And are they going to take a look at it upstairs? They have. Now, anything under 2 minutes, of course, the upstairs booth will tell the folks on the field they want to review it, and that's exactly what they're going to do. You cannot be challenged on the sideline inside 2 minutes. There's Murphy. He is a rookie. He is a fourth-round pick out of the University of Florida. And, you know, you said something about Gronkowski earlier. He just makes things happen, even though he may not be the prettiest quarterback with the best arms. The fact that he just a grinder, I think he called
He's
him.
scrappy. You see the pump fake, and that's what lures. And see, if you're Morgan Trent, you got to find the ball. You've got to really stay with it and stay in coverage. Louis Murphy, when we talk to him, he says, look, I take it personal that Jamarcus Russell has been benched. That means I'm not doing my job. But you can see he's doing his job there. Is the knee down before he breaks the plane? I think it was sort of like a bang-bang deal where it's going to be very close.
Well, that official was right there.
Yeah, he says he has caught 200 extra balls a day trying to get better. There's the knee down. I think they might mark it just short of the goal line.
Well, here, you know what? I don't know if, well, that probably is the most clear view. If we go back and just, well, that's good, guys. Let's rewind it and just see where that knee goes down.
Knee down, ball.
But we have no perspective there on where the ball is. It could be right over the goal line, and if it crosses the goal line, it is a touchdown.
And it was ruled a touchdown on the field. Do you have enough to overturn it?
Yes, undisputable evidence, and it looks like right here that that angle obviously won't do it. The other angle won't do it, and they're going to have to call and trust the guy's eyes, who was 5 feet away.
There you go. Knee down, ball out.
You don't know where the ball is, though.
I think they're going to give it a touchdown.
I think they are, too. To Louis Murphy.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And we are awaiting the extra point with 33 seconds to play. Gronkowski started today taking the place of the ineffective quarterback, Jamarcus Russell.
Louis Murphy making a play against Morgan Trent. The catch and the touchdown. And he says, hey, I know now that I'm supposed to come in on my off days to work. I'm supposed to come in on Tuesdays and watch more tape. He said, I didn't know you can do that.
Hold here will come from Leckler. Kondo will snap it. Janikowski will try to tie it and does with 33 seconds to play. It was a 14-0 lead for Cincinnati. And you can see what Oakland has done to come back in this game with Bruce Gronkowski, a cast-off from Tampa after he was drafted by John Gruden and the Buccaneers. Floated around the NFL. He's landed here in Oakland.
Yeah, this is a heady play. See the pump fake, luring the coverage to one side. You find Louis Murphy one-on-one. You got to like his ability to make a play in one-on-one coverage against another rookie in Morgan Trent. Trent doesn't close on the ball. See him lined up in the slot. And see, if you're Morgan Trent, you've got to turn toward the receiver as opposed to turning inside. Once he turned inside away from Louis Murphy, he loses position in coverage. Bruce Gronkowski saying, we've done it. We're back in the ball game. We said he had the ability to inspire the guys in the huddle, to inspire the guys on this football team, and boy, has he done it.
Takes the place of the franchise quarterback Russell and throws a game-time touchdown with the ensuing kickoff here, picked up by Andre Caldwell, about a yard deep in the end zone. Oh my goodness! The backup tight end has just recovered it. Brandon Myers, a rookie out of Iowa. Third Cincinnati fumble. And Caldwell turns it over. And 27 seconds remain.
Well within Sebastian Janikowski's range. Do you even run a play here? Can't believe he's got that ball hanging out. You can see he's hit, stripped, and then it's recovered by the Oakland Raiders. Look at Caldwell's running the ball. He doesn't secure it, and then he's hit, and then the ball comes out.
Myers stripped him. Myers vacuumed into loose ball. It's at the 17. We've had 5 teams that have trailed in the fourth quarter coming back to win today. Do we have a 6th here in Oakland?
On a day when the Pittsburgh Steelers fell to Kansas City.
Cincinnati has 3 timeouts, 17-yard line. Farkas in the backfield. Gronkowski will hold that ball as if he's holding the baby down to the 15. He takes it himself and picks up a couple. The clock will stop at 23 seconds. A timeout taken by the Bengals. As Sebastian Janikowski awaits on the sideline. He's done this 8 times. Can he do it a 9th? And all week long, the theme has been, let's recapture what we did against the Philadelphia Eagles here earlier in the season for these Raiders. That was the headline heading into this week.
And if you wanted to know where did the Bengals go wrong, I think missed field goals by their kicker, missed opportunities and fumbles, and now a 3rd turnover today. A 3rd time when you put the ball on the ground right in Oakland Raider territory with only 23 seconds to go and an opportunity to give them a win.
Caldwell was the one to fumble it on the return. Usually it is Scott back there returning kickoffs, but he took the place of Caldwell a couple weeks ago. But see, Scott was starting at running back today for the injured Cedric Benson. So now they're going to go to a knee. You can see the formation on the 2nd down and 8 from the 15-yard line. Cincinnati with 2 timeouts remaining. Going down right there. The clock at 21 seconds. Here is another timeout taken by the Cincinnati Bengals as Janikowski is waiting.
No, he has been money. You mentioned it. 8 game-winning field goals, and he's going to have an opportunity to get one today if the Raiders take care of the ball.
We have had a turnover on a Satelli to Gradkowski snap. That was earlier in the game. Satelli the center. Gradkowski to a knee. Cincy with the timeout remaining. Janikowski stalking out onto the field with a chance to win it. He has hit. As Sebastian Janikowski, he has hit his last 24 field goals inside 40 yards. A fumble on the kickoff by Andre Caldwell has given Oakland this outstanding field position. This will be a 33-yard try. There is little breeze inside the Coliseum, and again the Bengals have 1 timeout left. I'm sorry, they have no timeouts left. They took it right here. So they can't freeze him. This is it. Cincinnati came in with a very solid +3 takeaway giveaway ratio, whereas the Raiders came in -8.
Turnovers are the great equalizer. You feel like you come in a better football team, but when you turn it over, you allow them to stay in the game and hang around, and a chance to steal it at the end.
Condo the snap, Leckler the hold. This is for the lead from Sebastian Janikowski. And 15 seconds remain. The Raiders have scored 10 of the last 18 seconds in this game.
He's able to knock it through to give his team a 3-point lead with 15 seconds to go. And when I talked to Marvin Lewis just yesterday, and we talked about the Week 1 loss to the Denver Broncos, he said that game taught us that we have to keep playing until there's no time left. You got to believe the Cincinnati Bengals, if any team believes that 15 seconds is enough to maybe get something done, they've got to believe it. As impossible and as improbable as it may seem, they are a team that got to believe that maybe something is possible within 15 seconds.
Who's going to go back and get the kickoff? Will it be Caldwell or will it be Scott? It's going to be Scott. Scott last week had a 96-yard kickoff return against the Pittsburgh Steelers. On the ground today in his first NFL start as a running back, 119 yards on the ground. He's been terrific. The reigning AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Janikowski's had a couple of touchbacks today with that big booming leg of his.
Andre Caldwell has to be sick.
It's taken short and grabbed on the play by Quan Cosby, the rookie, undrafted, takes it up to the 36-yard line. He's out of Texas. Returns at 16 yards. And he's so doing gives the Cincinnati Bengals pretty good field position here. They'll begin it at about their 38-yard line.
Do you take a shot now? They have no timeouts. So anything you do, you've got to catch it near the out-of-bounds line and be able to catch it and get out.
They'll have 5 defensive backs. The Raiders are going to drop back 2 linebackers. Leonard at the side of the quarterback, Carson Palmer, from his 37, first down and 10. Good time. Caldwell the catch. Route ushers him out of bounds. 43-yard line, picks up 6 on the play. Now our attention turns to Shane Graham on the side. 5 seconds remain. They got a long way to go, though, before they can start thinking about that, and not a lot of time with which to work.
I think a Hail Mary is in order here. I think it's very difficult to use 5 seconds, catch the ball inbounds, and then get out to stop the clock in time to try to set up a field goal for Shane Graham. You got to take a shot at the end zone here.
The deepest defensive back is back at the 15-yard line. 2nd and 4. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Going deep, and Caldwell had his hands on it. A Raider had his hands on it. They fight for it. Raiders have picked it off. Game is over. Another turnover. The interception by Oakland secondary. And it was Asamoah who picks it off, the best quarterback in the NFL. What a finish and what a return for Bruce Gradkowski. The winning field goal by Janikowski. And the Raiders have now gone to 3-7. That was good from 33 yards away. Just before that, there was a 29-yard touchdown pass to the rookie Murphy.